Looks like we got a closed road here. That is no good. I'm trapped. Didn't expect to be in this. Actually, the first time I felt really fed up with this. Everyone left from the plateau here, so I'm pretty much alone here now, and there's a storm coming tomorrow. I'm hoping it will not hit until in the afternoon maybe, but it could be in the morning. I know it's pretty hard to get out of here if it gets bad, so I'm hoping the roads will stay open so I can leave tomorrow. But now it's dinner time, and I'm gonna do my funny little hamburger trick again. I just discovered I had a hamburger I need to get rid of, so I'm gonna do that burrito trick again. Feels like this is gonna be an awesome meal up here on the North Cape Plateau. I just saw the plow truck outside. Nobody else here, so it's only 6 o'clock, 5:30 actually. And I can't wait for those northern lights to show up. That's gonna be pretty awesome. So I got these burgers again. Looks real tasty. Let's hope I can make it not fall apart. Nice stuff. That is so good. I think I'm gonna watch episode from Mispronounced Adventures. I really enjoy his videos. Okay, so I've decided to get out of here. It's 10 in the evening and there's a big storm coming in, and I want to be off this mountain by the morning because it's gonna hit pretty early in the morning. It's already blowing quite heavily up here, so the van is shaking and it's gonna get very uncomfortable. So gonna get off the difficult roads and down to Honningsvåg, I think. guess it was a good thing that I came down here to the town last night. Pretty strong winds down here. Can only imagine what it's like up on the North Cape Plateau. And it's gonna get much stronger. Well, the weather is pretty bad and it's gonna stay this way for 3 days, so there might not be any reason to be out here on this island peninsula, because I wanted to see some stuff, but it's just going off here, so I'm not gonna drive out on any of the exposed roads, but I'm gonna do a little bit of sightseeing now around this Arctic town of Honningsvåg. I've never been out like on the side roads out in the fjords here, so I'm gonna take a look in this snowstorm here. this is pretty much the northernmost town in Europe. There's a couple of like teeny tiny ones, Skarsvågen and something like that, but pretty much on the same latitude as this. Nordvågen. Pretty awesome. So we're at around 71 degrees north. It's pretty much as far north as the northernmost place you can get to in Alaska. Brutal now. This is going off around the corner here. So I'm gonna start heading further into the Arctic now. Not further north, because this was the northernmost point, but it's a little bit touristy, but now I'm gonna head into the more remote areas. That should be a lot of fun. So I'm heading through a snowstorm, and that's something I need to do now because it's gonna get worse over the coming days, and I don't want to be caught in here. There could be convoy driving on these roads here, but we'll see. I'll drive through this snowstorm and see how bad it is. Oh, feels pretty bad. That's some heavy wind. Woo. banks. So out there is Honningsvåg, by Honningsvåg. It is just so pretty here. I think the Arctic in winter is the most beautiful thing I can imagine. Highly recommend anyone who can figure out a way to experience that to do it. So crazy. Good thing about being in a van is that you're higher up, so you get a little bit more visibility than you would in a sedan car. But snowstorm it is. Pretty epic. Pretty epic drive here now. Can't see much now, but wow. Looks like we got a closed road here. That is no good. Yeah. So, don't know if I'm gonna just park here for the night. There's a good parking spot here, and I guess there's a mobile phone mast right next to me here, so don't know. Well, it's a pretty harsh day up here, but it's beautiful. The wind is going off and I could not get through now. Just enjoy this snowstorm here for now. Didn't expect to be in this because I was planning to be out of here, but here we are. I'm gonna head back to Honningsvåg. It's only 16 kilometers back. Instead of sitting here waiting, head back and spend some more time here. It's such a gorgeous place. So 10 miles back to Honningsvåg, and then we'll see you again tomorrow. like in the same spot here. And the wind is pretty harsh. My van is really shaking, even though it should be sheltered, so I don't know what this wind is doing. But it is much harder than it was forecast. Oh, I haven't really felt this shaking in the van since I was in a hurricane. So all the roads around here are now closed. You cannot get out to the North Cape, and you cannot get back to civilization. So you gotta stay in these towns here. Honestly, I have to say I'm getting really tired of these storms now. It's can be exciting and fun and stuff like that, but kind of over it. It's been so stormy this winter. I don't have a number for how many hurricanes I've been in. This is not a hurricane, but it's uncomfortable when the van is shaking from the wind. I don't enjoy that very much any longer. And this is a really beautiful place where you just want to be out and see stuff, but now all the roads are closed, so I'm stuck here. Nothing to do about that. I'm totally fine. I'm right next to a store, and I got everything I need, so absolutely no complaints, but it is a bit too much. So we're looking at everything closed. I'm sitting there at the blue dot and just wait out this stuff here. So, just gonna make myself comfortable. I'll read a little bit. Lead child now. And this wind is just shaking the whole van. Kind of annoying, actually. It's actually the first time I felt really fed up with this. So now I'm just gonna make it cozy and read the book. Be nice and warm in here. This is without a doubt the most annoying storm I've been in. It's not the strongest by far, but this is just killing me. It is just shaking so crazily, and it's just a constant ongoing thing. And it's got like these sustained winds that's been going on for 12 hours now, so can't really sleep. This would be the time to take a sleeping pill if I had one. But it's just shaking, and then there's these gusts that come in that are probably around, I don't know what they are, but they go heavy on the sunroofs and stuff, so everything is just making crazy noises and shaking, so it is annoying. You would think it would be easy to sleep in something like this, and yes, if it was only the sound of the wind, but it's this constant shaking, and then it stops for a little bit, and shakes, and then there's like some big pop that goes on, like sunroof goes tick, 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 something like that. It should be sheltered, but it's just like slightly off, apparently. According to the forecast, it should be completely sheltered here, but I guess the wind is just coming from everywhere here out in the Arctic Ocean. So I really hope I can get out of here tomorrow. I can't. It's gonna go on for another 36 hours from tomorrow morning, so I just don't want to be in this any longer. I'll try to get back to sleep again. It's around midnight now. So I looked at the forecast again, and it's gonna go on for, I said 36 hours, but it's actually gonna go on for more than 48 hours more, so I hope there's a little bit of a room to get out of here tomorrow. Well, good morning. That was a rough night. Probably the roughest one I've had in the van so far. It was just shaking and pounding and making all kinds of noises. And I should have been sheltered here, and the wind wasn't higher than 28 meters a second, but still, this was way worse than any hurricane I've been in for some reason. And I've been walking around this building this morning to see if there is any shelter, and there's absolutely no shelter around this huge building. So the wind is just finding its own path around here, and It's just awful, actually. And now I'm trapped. This morning I was looking at the forecast and the road conditions, and it's actually closed because of a huge avalanche, so there's no way of getting out of here. I can see all these trucks are coming here to park up as well, probably trucks that should have been out of here, and they're all parking up here. And there's a French van in front of me as well here, so I guess people are just gonna ride it out, and it's gonna get much worse tonight. So it doesn't feel unsafe, it's just completely super annoying with all this shaking and pounding in the van. But I got coffee, and I'm parked next to a store here, so I got all the supplies I need, and they even have propane. So I switched my bottle yesterday, and I was able to empty my toilet and get some fresh water as well, so I can stay here for as long as it takes. So I took the van and moved into the center of the city, and I'm parked right in the harbor. This is pretty awesome. So basically I cannot feel any crazy winds here. It feels pretty sheltered, so this should be my spot for the night, I think. For now it feels much better than where I was, where it was just like pounding like crazy. So pretty good spot here now. Feels like much less wind here in the heart of the town. Now I just got an update on my phone that roads are closed until 10:30 tomorrow at least. So we'll see how things go. There's also another avalanche going towards North Cape, so I can't go in that direction either. All the roads up there are closed, so that's not a possibility. There's also a road out to a tiny little town a little bit further north that's closed by an avalanche as well, so big avalanche week. But if things pass tomorrow, I might stay in the area of North Cape longer, because there's much more stuff to see. So maybe it's all for the good in the end. I've been hanging out here for a day now, 24 hours. Looks like all the roads might start opening later today or tomorrow. There's gonna be a convoy on one of them, but I'm not gonna take that one because that's the one that gets me out of here. That should start tonight maybe, but the road a little bit further out from there is, or in from there, is still closed. I'm planning to head back up to the North Cape again. I didn't feel like I got to spend enough time up there. When the roads open late tonight or tomorrow, I might head up there again. It's so awesome up there. I really want to see the northern lights from the northernmost point of Europe. It's kind of fun to be trapped somewhere in the Arctic, even though this is a little town here, so... Okay, that was 4 days or 5 days. I'll never get back. Roads are open now, except for the one up to the North Cape, which has convoy. It's a pretty cool little town out here. Kamøyvær. This has been closed because of avalanches for the past few days. Here's the end of the road. I guess the cars got buried. So I'm driving through one of the areas that had avalanches that closed the roads. There's been multiple avalanches here on this road, so this was completely closed off. And there's more further ahead. This is just long stretches of avalanche areas. Through here it's all been avalanches. Oh, the wind is picking up again. So I'm leaving the area. Well, the wind is picking up again, and the forecast says new storms coming in tomorrow night and the following days. So I'm just gonna head out of this exposed area and get into the higher Arctic plains where it's colder and it should be less windy according to the forecast. So it should be a long, good drive down to Lakselv and Karasjok, and then I might turn into Finland, or I might turn around and head north closer to Russia. Last look at Honningsvåg. Looks like both the Coast Guard and Hurtigruten is in. fascinated by the other side of the fjord here. Almost feels like something see on the Great Plains of Wyoming or Utah or something. Except for the ocean, of course. I wonder what's out there.